piece by Ben Hecht here that was an uncredited bit of writing. It was the prologue for Gone with the Wind. And I believe that without it, without that necessary shot, that impact at the beginning of the film, that it perhaps would not have gotten the accolades or the acclaim that it did. There was a land of cavaliers and cotton fields called the Old South. Here in this patrician world, the age of chivalry took its last bow. Here was the last ever seen of the knights and their ladies fair, of master and of slave. Look for it only in books, for it is no more than a dream remembered, a civilization gone with the wind, gone with the wind.
The word occult can be defined as knowledge of the hidden. Occult investigation by human cultures dates back as early as Babylon, about 1200 BC. However, some people believe this society to be much older. The Assyrians, or Sumerians, were descendants of the Babylonian Empire, and it is thought that they were one of the first established groups of people in historical timelines. The study of the occult in modern times was mastered by Aleister Crowley, also referred as the wickedest man in the world.
So be my grave without a name, that earth may swallow up my shame.
As we know, Crowley was an active Freemason, an influential member of the Golden Dawn, Ordo Templi Orientis, and the AA. He had learned many secrets of the world and understood most religious beliefs thoroughly. In later years, he experimented in many grotesque, perverse human acts, which earned him his nickname, the wickedest man in the world. Throughout history, religion has scolded its unbelievers to gain control. However, most religions can be traced back to astrology and paganism. Early civilizations had little scientific knowledge, and therefore the sun was seen as a godlike figure. Other elements were also incorporated into their beliefs, as well as the battle of good and evil, and hidden meanings and morals. Evidence of the occult throughout history can be found all over the world, and symbols are even used today which indicate it is alive and well. The eagle is a perfect example, and many people believe its current link to be found within the Illuminati, or the 13 bloodlines which have dominated thriving societies for the last several hundred years. These bloodlines have managed to control everything about what we do as people, shaping the way we live today. Families like the Rockefellers, who have controlled the monetary system and operated the world's largest banks throughout their entire existence. Even today, David Rockefeller is controlling your money, but as it would seem, his luck is about to run out. But he has made sure his son has a position in power, and he controls much of the donation societies related to the environment, and is a current member of the Council of Foreign Relations. Many of our nation's leaders and public figures can be traced back to the occult throughout history, and this is very apparent with the occult history of the Third Reich, as well as modern American societies like Skull and Bones. Movies have even been made about Skull and Bones, and its members meet at a place called Bohemian Grove where rituals take place.
I want to tell everybody out in TV land how they can come to the Grove, where their elected leaders, along with the big bankers and the heads of media, meet, along with some European royalty, every year to decide how to run the country. You can fly into San Francisco, or you can fly into Santa Rosa. You can even fly into Sacramento, and you just drive out to Highway 101. You take Highway 12 out west towards the coast until you get about 10 miles out from the coast, right outside the little town of Monterey. And the town of Monterey, off the main drag, you'll take the Bohemian Avenue. And it dead ends right here at the 2,700-acre Redwood Grove entrance, where your world leaders, among other things, set policy for much of the planet and dress up in black and red robes and worship, Moloch. They would say that Moloch was a Canaanite deity that children were sacrificed to. They don't say they worship Satan, they just worship an old deity that likes to gobble children, basically. So we're here in the spooky redwoods, and we've had a lot of interesting young fellows with security hats driving back and forth, but they're treating us well right now. I'm sure they're already on the phone calling the police, and well, I think if Kevin has got the nerve, we'll just sit here and wait and see what happens as the shadows get a little bit longer. Towards the evening here in Northern California, the Transylvania of North America.
The occult runs rampant throughout our governmental structure, and it always has. It is important that we educate ourselves on this issue, and the internet is the best source of information, even though the Barack Obama administration is working on tightening up the internet. This documentary can only briefly explain these topics, however the internet is a great resource to do independent research on all of these subjects.